welcome to Rathods Science Academy. Today in this session we are going to see important current affairs which appeared in our Hindu newspaper. So we are going to see current affairs of 13th March 2025. So let's get started with our discussion, and please don't skip this video. Please watch until end so that you will be getting lots of insights regarding how the question can be framed in prelims, mains and as well as interview. Okay, I will be telling each and everything from basic level. Okay, so now let us see the first article, guys. So in our front page of different editions of Hindu, like International Edition, Delhi Edition, Hyderabad Edition, whatever it may be, so this is a very important article from your first page. The title says retail inflation at 7-month low as food prices decline. So the key word in this title is retail inflation. Okay, let me write that keyword here. So this article is talking about one important keyword, that is retail inflation. So in this, again, let us break down this into two words. So retail is there on one side and inflation is there on another side. So inflation is nothing but whenever there is increasing of prices, whenever there is increase of prices of goods and services in market, then this condition is called as inflation. For example, normally if you say like we can get like 5 apples for 100 rupees, that means each apple is 20 rupees. So if that price of this apple had been increased to 25 rupees or 30 rupees per an apple, then that condition is called as inflation in market. Okay, and now if you come to the second word, that is retail. So here if you see in the market, so we will be having retailers, we will be having wholesalers. So if you go to any shop, in the title or the board of that shop itself, you can see retail shop or wholesale shop. And for some shops they will say that retail plus wholesale, like that. So what is a wholesale? So wholesaler is nothing but, normally if you want to understand these two terms, wholesaler and retailer, you have to know about what is happening in our economy. So for example, let us take, there is a company. Okay, so there is one company, and this company, for example, produces, let us take a lace chip packet. So this company is producing lace. Okay, so one person goes to this company directly and he will buy that lace chips in a bulk amount, in a bulk. For example, let us take 1000 chips packet he is buying. He is buying in a bulk amount, and this person is called as wholesaler. Wholesaler. What this wholesaler will do? Wholesaler will be supplying that bulk quantity of lace packets to retail shops. For example, in every gully or in every area we will be having some shops, right? That is called as retail shops. So he will be giving that to other people. So these people are called as retailers now. So for example, he will be giving 100 chips packet to this person, or 50 chips packet, 50 chips packet, 50 chips packet, like that. So based on the quantity they are buying from wholesaler, and these are called as retailers. And what they'll do, for example, I'm going to this person and I'm buying 2 or 3 chips packets. So I will be the consumer. So in this chain of production of goods, so what you came across? You came across this manufacturing company. So first one is manufacturing company, right? You come across this manufacturing company. Second one is wholesaler. And third one is retailer. And fourth one is I, who is a consumer, who is going to the nearby gully shop, and I will be asking this person to give me chips packets and I'll give him money. So in this inflation, we'll be seeing about two types of inflation, that is wholesale inflation, retail inflation. So at this person, whenever this person is buying goods at high cost, whenever there is increased cost for this wholesaler who is directly buying from the manufacturer, that is called as wholesale price inflation or wholesale inflation. And retail inflation is nothing but this person is paying more amount of money to the wholesaler, that is called as retail inflation. Okay, that means who will be bearing that? Obviously consumer will be bearing that. So whenever we are calculating rise of price at the consumer level, that is called as retail price inflation. So whenever he is paying more amount of money means obviously he will be collecting the more amount of money from the consumer, right? So this is an example of retail inflation. Okay, so now this topic where you will be studying in your syllabus. In your UPSC syllabus, in your GS paper 3, we have subject called as economy. In economy, this inflation chapter is very important. And what you have to see in this inflation, first of all, you have to see about what this inflation means. That is nothing but whenever there is general tendency of increasing of price of goods and service in market is called as inflation. And next you have to see different types of inflation. We have wholesale price inflation, retail inflation. Okay, wholesale inflation and retail inflation. And next you have to see, other than this, what is the classification of inflation? So here we have demand pull inflation. So three classifications: demand pull inflation, cost push inflation, and next one is built in inflation. So you have to see these three classifications of inflation. And next you have to see what are the causes, why this inflation is happening, what are the reasons you have to see. And next you have to see what is the impact of inflation. Whenever there is increasing of price in goods and markets, what is happening? What happens? Demand will be decreases. So consumer will be placing less orders and economic activities will be reduced, production will be reduced, okay, economy will be stalled down, and even there will be no demand, the consumer will not willing to go to the market. So all this will be the impact, you have to see that impact. And next, yes, we are saying inflation is there. So what are the measures? So how we can measure this inflation? We have WPI, wholesale price index, and we have CPI. So wholesale price index is only one, but there is again subdivision in this CPI. So we will be saying CPI at industrial workers. We will be saying CPI at rural laborers. We will be seeing CPI combined. Okay, so what is this you have to see? And again, you have to see if inflation is going on, increasing, is it good for economy? No. That means here there will be some steps taken by Government of India and as well as RBI. So what are the steps taken by Government of India or called as fiscal policy? And what are the steps taken by RBI to control this inflation is called as monetary policy. And you have to see what is this monetary policy and what is this fiscal policy. If you do all these things, an entire one chapter of your economy is done. So you have to study in this way. If something is seen in the news, you have to open your static book and you have to refer that either standard book or NCRT or whatever the notes you are making or like your class notes, everything you have to refer so that you can remember that for a long period of time. So this is the thing that you have to focus. And now let us see this article. So actually this article is saying that, so when we are comparing from last 7 months, every month this inflation will be news. Okay, every month we'll check the inflation. So here this article is saying that if you are seeing from last 7 months onwards, so this month there is decreased retail inflation. So what is the retail inflation month of February? It is 3.6. And actually we have a target of maintaining inflation. That target is 4 plus or minus 2. That means we have to maintain inflation between 2 to 6% in our country, and now it is 3.6%. That is within the limits we have. Okay, so why there is a decreasing of inflation in this month? So this article is saying that there is decrease of food prices. So if you see about this food prices, especially there is decreased price of vegetables in the market, especially vegetable price, pulses price and eggs prices, they will be controlling this retail inflation. So that had been decreased. So this is the thing which mainly said here. Okay, that's the thing that you have to see. And now let us see the next article. So I found this image. So what is this image? There is nothing but people, they are playing some games in ice or snow, right? So actually if you see this thing, this part, you can see like Jammu and Kashmir Chief Minister writes no mobile during closing ceremony of 5th Kalo India Winter Games in Gulmarg. So this article is talking about one important scheme of our government, that is Kalo India. Okay, it is about Kalo India Water Games. So if you are getting this terminology in newspaper and if you see such kind of images, this will be very important from your prelims point of view. You have to make a note of this kind of things from your prelims. So now let us see some important facts regarding this Kalo India Winter Games. So if you see about this Kalo India Winter Games, it is a national level winter sports, especially during winter season in this northern area. So there will be snowfall, there will be ice, and we have this third pole region, right? So in this Himalayas, this famous winter sports will be conducted. Okay, and they are promoting winter sports, and even they will promote athletes to take up skiing and as well as skating in the snow. And actually it includes events like skiing, alpine skiing, nordic skiing, snow rugby, and even ice stockpot, snow baseball, mountaineering. So these are the games normally conducted in this Kalo India winter sports. So who will be organizing this event? You have to remember this, that is Sports Authority of India, and also Ministry of Youth and Youth Affairs and Sports. Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports and as well as Sports Authority of India will be conducting these games. It is very important. And if you trace back the origins of these games, so Kalo India Winter Games began in 2000, and now this year, every year they will be conducting. So this year it marks fifth edition of this Kalo India Winter Games. And nearly 1,000 athletes, including 300 women, they inaugurated this thing. And especially if you see by year there is steady increase of participation of the people in this region. So these are some facts regarding this Kalo India Winter Games. And now let us see the next article. It is about Mauritius. So from last 1 week onwards, we were discussing about this Mauritius, why this Mauritius is in news. Let us recall what happened. So as you all know that Prime Minister, he is on visit to Mauritius, and this visit also marks the Independence Day events of this Mauritius, right? And it is a 2-day event. And from last 2 days onwards, we were discussing what the talks which are going on. And now it is a very important article in this visit, that is Prime Minister says free, open and secure Indian Ocean is a priority for both the countries. That means I said that Indian Ocean is a very important strategically, geographically for both the nations. So in this Indian Ocean also we need to ensure free, open and secure. That means if this statement is given by our important person in our country, right? Prime Minister is a very important person, and whenever he gave that statement means yes, there are certain challenges we are facing in our Indian Ocean, right? So you have to know about what challenges we are facing in Indian Ocean and what are the measures already taken by our government and which are the organizations which are focusing on Indian Ocean. So all these three things that you have to know. Okay, so let me write the important keyword. Important keyword here is Indian Ocean. So here this article is saying that we need free, open and secure. Okay, free, open and secure Indian Ocean is important. That means, so this statement is saying that we are facing certain challenges in Indian Ocean. So now it is your responsibility to know what are the challenges we are facing in this Indian Ocean. And if you are facing challenges, government might already taken some steps, right? You have to see what are the measures of government already taken. What are the measures of government of India already taken? And next, you have to see like this Indian Ocean is not only belongs to India, right? Even different countries are sharing boundary with this Indian Ocean. So that means here there is also a chance of forming of organizations, international organizations which focus on Indian Ocean, right? So you have to see which are those organizations focusing on Indian Ocean. And next, you have to see about what is the way forward. So what can other measures that you can suggest to Government of India so that we can improve further more efficiency in this Indian Ocean. So those things that you have to see. And next you have to see about what is the importance of Indian Ocean. why we are bothering about this Indian Ocean, what is the importance of this Indian Ocean, that you have to know. Okay, and even Indian Ocean region, we can see some important choke points where the trade happens. So I have to see location of those choke points also. So all these are the important things that you have to make a note, and you have to make the notes according to this challenges, organization, measures, and even if possible you can see the map so that you can identify which are the countries sharing directly the boundary with Indian Ocean. That is also very important. I'll show. Okay, so if you see this article, it is saying that during 2-day visit to Mauritius, Prime Minister Narendra Modi emphasized on importance of free, open and secure and safe Indian Ocean. It is a priority of both the countries. So if you see the map of Indian Ocean, so this entirely it is Indian Ocean part, and you can see the different colors of the countries which they are sharing boundary, and you have to know these countries which are sharing directly the boundary with this Indian Ocean region. Okay, so these are the countries which are sharing boundary. So you have to see that countries for sure. And next one here is, I am also including one more map. It is about choke points. Choke points are nothing but the routes through which we will be having maritime access. That means one area to another area in water. So how we can move? There will be the important lanes. So that lane is, for example, here in this region we have Strait of Malacca. So here this is this strait. Strait is nothing but a small water body which is connecting two larger water bodies. For example, here water body is there and here water body is there. So we are connecting this to a small channel of water, and this is called as strait. And we have important straits which are choke points in this Indonesian region. So here we have Strait of Malacca, and here we have Strait of Bab el Mandab, and here we have Strait of Hormuz. And here we can also consider this Mozambique channel also one important choke point where there will be the movement of ships happens here in this way. So these are the important areas, so that if something is happening wrong in these areas, especially it will be affecting trade in this region, it will be affecting global economy. Okay, so now let us see what are the concerns for India, what are the challenges we are facing in this Indian Ocean region. So first one is Chinese dominance. Chinese dominance will be there for sure. So actually there is increasing of Chinese influence in this Indonesian region. So China is increasing its expansion. It came up with this aggressive expansionist policy through string of pearls. So because of this, it is threatening our India's maritime security and as well as regional dominance. The first point you have to note down is Chinese string of pearls. And next one here is China is also increasing its naval bases and military bases in these countries which are sharing boundary with Indian Ocean. That means it is increasing its strategic autonomy in this Indian Ocean region. And next one is China is coming up with this policy of providing loans for infrastructure projects in other countries. For example, China came up with infrastructure projects in this Sri Lanka, that is Hambantota port, and it went into the debt trap of China. And finally, they gave this Hambantota port for lease. That means there is increasing of Chinese presence in this Sri Lanka. So in this way, here there is some a problem which is created for Indian maritime security by this China. And even China has around 17 strategic ports investments in this Indian Ocean region. And even they came up with recently, Djibouti also accepted for naval base of China, and Ream naval base in Cambodia. Okay, so these are the things which mainly seen. And this one here is, in as part of maritime security, always we will be having some threats called as piracy. Piracy is nothing but hijacking of ships. And next one is terrorism and illegal activities like arms trafficking, which also happens in this Indian Ocean, which will be disrupting trade routes and even will be threatening national security. And next one here is Indian Ocean also carried like a number of times rescue operations in this Arabian Sea, and even recently went for this Operation Salcomp, etc. And even unregulated fishing will be happening in this Indian Ocean region, that will be having impact on biodiversity. So it is also one cause of concern. And next one here is, there is also increasing of competition as well as increasing of foreign military presence in this Indian Ocean region. For example, there is increasing of US, increasing of China, increasing of France, UK, Russia, and their naval deployments are increasing. So what happens because of this increasing of extra regional powers, that means which are not part of this Indian Ocean, but if their presence is increasing, what happens? That will leads to increasing of other countries' foothold, and even that will leads to the destruction of trade as well. And next one here is climate change and environment risk is also there. So because of increasing of sea level, because of global warming, there is increasing of cyclones in this region, and it will be affecting not only the coastal regions, and even increasing of sea level temperature, which also cause degradation of coral reefs as well, so that it will be threatening India's maritime security and as well as marine economy, that is called as blue economy. And even because of climate change, there is displacement of people is happening from island nations to mainland nations. So it is also one important problem that we are going to have. And next one here is we don't have proper naval infrastructure, and we don't have proper shipbuilding capabilities as compared to that of other countries in India. So it is also undermines India's development in this shipbuilding industry. Okay, so all these things are there. And next one here is even we are having lots of threats from the cyber security and as well as undersea cables. And nowadays you know that India is going for undersea cable system, and with different countries you are also having this memorandum of understanding for improvement of these cables. So all these things that you have to see. Clear? And now let us see the next article. Title says Solapur handloom industry struggles for recognition, says buyers. Okay, so what is the keyword? Keyword here is handloom industry. Handloom industry. So it is very, very important. So let me write this keyword here. Handloom industry. So this topic is important from your GS paper 1 under art and culture, and even from GS paper 3 under economy point of view. So what you have to see from art and culture. So whenever you are studying anything from art and culture, you have to start with evolution, when it had been started. Evolution. And you have to see about what is the speciality of that so and so handloom industry. So normally we have different types of handloom sectors in our country, and we have different types of weaving styles. If you go from one state to another state we will be having different styles. How many styles are there, and what is their uniqueness, that thing you have to see. And you have to see about what are the challenges they are facing now, what are the challenges faced by these handloom sectors. And you have to see first of all what is the significance of this, and next you have to see what is the way forward, or what are the measures taken by the government. Okay, if you see all these things it is done. And additionally what you have to do, you have to make a notes. So in take India map and see in different states, so which kind of handloom sector or handloom weaving style is present. For example, in Telangana state, we have Pochampalli saris. So it got like GI tag. So you have to see like which kind of handlooms they got GI tag in India. Okay, so like that you have to see. And now let us see about this handloom sector. So if you see the evolution of this handloom sector in India, it goes back to Indus Valley civilization. At that time onwards, we have textiles. Okay, and it is also one of the deep-rooted culture tradition. So based on the style of the wearing and based on the which type of sarees you are wearing, we can understand even their culture. And next one here is each state in India have their own handloom production, and there are like more than 136 different types of weaving styles which can be found in India. And what is significance? Actually, this handloom sector, it is the second largest employment generator after agriculture in India. So first one is agriculture, and second sector which is giving employment is this textiles or handloom sector, because it includes like lot of man labor or manpower is required for making of a sari or making of the things, making of the clothes. So it employs about millions of people, which includes substantial presentation of marginalized communities. And this one here is it is also driver of Indian exports. So Indian handloom products, they had demand in more than 20 countries worldwide, especially the countries from developed countries and as well as the countries from Middle East, they are having good demand of Indian exports. And next one here is culture heritage. So Indian handloom sector plays an important role in preserving of craftsmanship, preserving of the skill of the people. And even if you know the skill of Indians, especially in this handloom sector, so normally you know that sari will be like around 6 meters or 5.5 meters like that. So you can imagine how skillful Indians are. Like they used to make this 5.5 or 6 meters sari. If you fold them and if you keep them, it will even we can make it possible to keep in a matchbox. How this matchbox will be this much small, right? 1 rupee matchbox. So in that matchbox also we can keep that much skill is there in Indian handloom sector actually, so that we can preserve that craftsmanship and as well as skills that we can pass down to the next generations. And next one here is handloom products are normally eco-friendly and they are sustainable because they will be made up of organic materials, and sometimes they will be using some synthetic things and as well as synthetic dyes. And next one here is what are the challenges now we are facing in this handloom sector. It is very important. So first one is we are getting competition from mass produced textiles. So there is a lot of difference between handlooms and as well as power looms. So handlooms are mainly, they don't require any electricity. They can be run by using hand only. And this power looms, they need electricity. So whenever we are using this hand looms to make a saree, it will take like 5 to 6 days of time. But in the machine made, it will be, we can make like 100 sarees within 1 day. So like that, there will be a lot of difference between this domestic and as well as international competition and as well as machine made goods. And next one here is even handloom sector which is lacking like adequate infrastructure, like we don't have reliable power supply and even transportation facilities, access to modern equipment, etc. And even especially younger generation people, they are not getting interest to learn this traditional thing. And next one here is even weaving communities, they are struggling a lot because whatever the work they are doing, whatever hard work they are doing, they are not getting enough thing in return. They are not getting proper consistent income. Okay, so it is also an important problem. And even now there is a limited access to the domestic and as well as international markets. And even sustainability concerns are also there. And even there is growing of power looms now. So because of this, what happened? This handloom sector is facing a lot of challenges now. So these are the things that you have to see, guys. And now let us see next article. AP government to consider giving pension to all thalassemia patients. So here this article is talking about government is providing support for the patients who are having certain disease. When you are getting any disease in news, yes, you have to know about that disease, at least some basics. Okay, so the keyword here is thalassemia. What is the keyword? Thalassemia. So in which subject you will be seeing this, guys? In GS paper 3 under science and technology you will be seeing. In science and technology you will be studying about this topic called as diseases. In these diseases again we have two types of diseases, communicable and non-communicable. Communicable disease means nothing but easily that disease can be transmitted from one person to another person, for example COVID-19. And this one is non-communicable means if I'm having disease, if I'm communicating with you, it is not transmitting to you. That is called as non-communicable. Okay, non-communicable we have different diseases like genetic diseases and non-genetic diseases, etc. So here you have to see about this thalassemia. So you have to get some basic understanding regarding what is this thalassemia and what is the cause of this thalassemia, and you have to see what are the types of this thalassemia and what are the signs and symptoms of this thalassemia, and if possible you can also see what is the treatment for this disease. So if you see all these things, then you can complete this topic, guys. Okay, now let us see some facts regarding this thalassemia. Thalassemia is a genetic disorder. That means you can get that disease from your parents. Okay, it is inherited blood disorder. And what happens if you're getting this thalassemia? Your body will be having very reduced capability or reduced ability of producing of normal hemoglobin. So normal hemoglobin level is 12 to 16. Okay, 12 to 16 is the normal hemoglobin level, that is grams per dl, mg per dl. But if your body is not producing enough hemoglobin, that condition is called as anemia, and this disease you will be getting from your parents. You will be getting inherited from your parents. That will lead to what happens? Very few healthy blood cells will be there, and whenever there is a less amount of hemoglobin, that condition is called as anemia. You will be getting anemia, and you will be having very less healthy red blood cells. And what are the symptoms? So you will be not expected common growth. So what will be the growth in the others? That growth will be not seen in you. And even there will be delayed puberty. That means you will be getting mature late. And next one is bone abnormalities will be there. You will be not feeling well, and you will be not feeling energy all the times. You will be getting jaundice, dark color urine, facial bones irregularities in severe cases. And we have two types, guys. We have alpha thalassemia and we have beta thalassemia. So alpha thalassemia is caused by defective alpha globin gene. So if your both parents are carriers of this disease, if your both parents are having this disease, you will be getting this alpha thalassemia. Okay. So if one parent is having this disease, if you're getting that disease from that parent, that is called as beta thalassemia. Okay. So that is the thing. And let us see the next article. Popularize fortified grain scheme, says standing committee. Okay, so where you will be studying about these committees in your syllabus? Yes, in polity, in GS paper 2, you will be studying about parliamentary committees. And in these parliamentary committees, how many types we have? We have two types. We have permanent and we have temporary. So permanent is called as Departmental Standing Committee, DSC, Departmental Standing Committees or permanent committees, which will be there all time. And we have temporary. Temporary means if there is any need, we will be making that committee, and after that work is done, we will dismantling that. So these committees are called as ad hoc committees. Okay, ad hoc committees or temporary committees. So now this article is talking about permanent standing committee. So now this permanent standing committee gave some recommendations. What is this recommendations? It is saying that yes, we can continue fortified food or fortified rice. Fortified rice. So you know rice. What is rice? Rice comes from paddy, right? So if you are going for removal of husk on the paddy, you will be getting rice. So actually what is this rice made up of? It is made up of just only carbohydrates. If you're eating only carbohydrates, then will you get this balanced diet? No. Will you get all the minerals and vitamins that you need? No, you will be getting only carbohydrates. So actually, in India, we are having a problem of hidden hunger. Hidden hunger is nothing but, yes, they are taking enough amount of rice they need, but they are not getting proper nutrients. So it is also called as nutrient deficiency, especially micronutrient deficiency. They are taking food, but they are not getting balanced diet. They are not taking micronutrients which are required for their body. That is called as hidden hunger. Hidden hunger is nothing but it is micronutrient deficiency. Okay. So actually what is this meaning of fortified rice? You know about this rice, but what is this concept of fortified rice? Fortified rice is nothing but for this rice we have to add some nutrients. That too, especially we are having this hidden hunger problem, so we can add some micronutrients. So if you are adding micronutrients to the food, that is called as fortification. Okay, and now this article is saying that we have to go for fortified rice. In this fortified rice, what we'll do? We will add vitamin A to rice. That is called as golden rice. Okay, when we add nutrients to this rice, that is called as fortified rice, and this departmental standing committee is saying that yes, we have to promote fortified rice. Especially government is ensuring PDS, that is public distribution system, through which government is providing a subsidized food grains, right? So in that scheme, at least we have to increase this fortified rice so that we can address this problem of hidden hunger, and we can address this problem of malnutrition, and we can improve nutritional status of the people. So that is this recommendation of the standing committee. So here you have to know about what is fortified rice and what are the examples of this fortified rice, and you have to see about what are the advantages and disadvantages and challenges. That's it. So it is your work. Okay. And now let us see the next article. See here. Indian Railways to dig ponds under government's Mission Amrit Sarovar. So what you have to focus, the keyword is Mission Amrit Sarovar. So this is one important scheme of government. So you have to know about this. So this topic is important from GS paper 2 under governance point of view. So what is this mission is about? It is about digging of ponds. That means we are going for rejuvenation of ponds and lakes in India so that we can improve groundwater level or groundwater table. So now let us see some facts regarding this scheme. You will be getting facts only. So you have to see that. So when this scheme was launched in year 2022, this mission was launched in year 2022, and to resolve to build 75 Amrit Sarovars during 75th independence as part of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. So in 2022 itself this had been launched, and actually they want to improve the water holding capacity of ponds. That means we have to go for digging deep of ponds or increasing the area of ponds so that they will be having capacity of holding water of 10,000 cubic meter. And this one is they are focusing on water conservation through this program, and as well as they want to focus on improving of people participation and as well as proper utilization of soil excavated from the water bodies. Okay, so what is the soil which is excavated in this thing? Like whenever they're going dig deep into the ponds, they will be getting some soil, right? And this soil that can be used in the rice field so that they can increase water holding capacity. And next one here is, so this mission was launched. It involves around 6 ministries or departments. You have to know these departments for sure. So ponds and lakes normally seen in rural areas. So we have rural development, and we are also protecting the land, right? Land resources is there, and we are focusing on water conservation, that is drinking water and sanitation. And next one is Department of Water Resources. And rural areas comes under panchayats, right? Panchayat Raj is there. And next one is we are also going for conservation of this ponds and lakes in forest areas also. So Ministry of Forest, Environment and Climate Change. So totally 6 ministries. Huh? So now railway is taking this. It is not ministry. Okay. So actually this has been launched, and whenever it was launched in 2022, there were 6 ministries which are involved. Now here railway ministry, Indian Railways are digging now as part of this, but it is not the part of this ministry when it was formed. Okay, and that's it. And let us see the next article. Title says welcome gesture. ECI changed approach to engaging with critics is a good move. So as you all know that many a times ECI is getting some allegations that it is not ensuring free and fair elections in our country. So where you will study this ECI? In your polity. So here if you see the keyword of this article, what is it? Election Commission of India. So you will be studying under GS paper 2 polity. So what you have to see? You have to see entire chapter of this Election Commission of India, which is a constitutional body. You have to see about articles. Article 324 talks about Election Commission of India, and you have to see other articles. So who are this Chief Election Commissioner? Who are this Election Commissioner? So what is the appointment process? And you have to see what is the eligibility criteria and whether he is available, not eligible for this reappointment or not. And you have to see what are the functions and responsibilities. So all these things that you have to see from this ECI. And even you have to see like what are the steps can be taken to improve free and fair elections. Okay, so now we have to focus on this thing. What steps can be taken by this ECI so that we can improve free and fair elections. So first one here is ECI can make some electoral reforms. In these electoral reforms, they have to implement state funding of elections. That means whenever political parties are going for campaigning, whatever the money they will use, so that should be provided by the government. And this one is we have to implement or introduce a very strict laws so that we can curb black money usage in elections. And we have to enhance transparency in political party funding. So who are funding to this political party, whether the people in India or whether the foreigners. Okay, so we have to make it more transparent. So these are the steps that can be taken under electoral reforms. And this one is we can also include more technology during these elections. So in each and every center, whenever we are using EVMs, we have to also make compulsory VVPATs, that is voter verifiable paper audit trail. And we have to tally both of them while election results or counting of votes. And this one is we have to implement blockchain technology so that we can secure this voters data and we can ensure accountability. And also we can strengthen cyber security measures so that we can prevent hacking and manipulation of data of voters in the regions. And next important thing that we can do is we can improve voter awareness and participation. So we have to conduct a very large scale voter awareness campaigns. So we have to target especially youth and as well as urban non-voters. Next one here is we have to introduce online voting or remote voting options also, so that we can increase the participation of NRIs and internal migrants. And as well as we have to ensure accessibility for differently abled voters through better infrastructure in this areas where there is a polling happens, that is polling booths. And next one here is we have to improve or we have to update our electoral rolls so that we can remove the duplicate and we can remove the fake person and we can remove the dead persons, etc. And next one here is we have to link voter IDs with Aadhaar card so that we can prevent any bogus voting. And we can have to facilitate online verification correction for voter details so that there will be duplication will be reduced. And next one is we have to curb electoral malpractices, like for example booth capturing and assist bribing of voters, fake voting, etc. And we have to use CCTV cameras in this polling booth so that we will be having proper surveillance. And even webcasting, that means in that local channel they have to show this thing like what is happening in that region, that is live casting live of this election process. And as one is we have to strengthen even model code of conduct also. And we have to ensure the security measures, like we have to deploy more CAPF forces so that we can go for better crowd management and law enforcement so that we can prevent stampede and as well as violence in this region. So if these steps are taken by ECI effectively and implementing effectively, so that we can ensure that yes, this trust between the people on this government agencies and this election process can be improved, and even ECI can ensure free and fair elections for sure. Okay, so these are things that you have to make a note, guys. And now let us see the next article, that is industrial output growth hastens to 8 months high. So you have to focus on this industrial output. So here we have one index called as index of industrial production. So actually this index of industrial production will be focusing on how the growth is happening in core sectors. So we have 8 core sectors. To remember that, I will give you a mnemonic: funds 3C. That means this index will be calculating how growth is happening in fertilizers, electricity, refineries, natural gas, steel. One is for coal, crude oil and cement. So these are the 8 core sectors which are present in our economy. So this growth will be calculated by this IIP. So you have to see that thing. So you have to see what are these core sectors, so how they are performing. Okay, that's it from the basic point of view. So these are the important topics that appeared in our today's Hindu newspaper. So by this I'm concluding. Thank you so much guys for watching, and please do like this class and share this class to your friends, and don't forget to subscribe to Rathods IS Academy. And even we are going to start new batch for this GS Prelims Mains Foundation soon, and the basics classes are already going on. So if you want to take admissions, you can take both on online and offline. So if you have any queries, you can contact us directly on this number 8074765513. Don't forget guys. Thank you so much.